What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, for being subscribed. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening to this on YouTube while you're at it, hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place. So let's get into this podversation. I wanted to talk about this story because when I first saw the story about this young lady that was allegedly missing in Alabama, my heart immediately went out to her and her family, as well as prayers going up, because when I heard the story, I was like, oh my God, initially. But then when the details of what actually occurred, of course, the antennas go up and you just start to question and wonder, like, what is going on? What really happened? Because the story was that Carlee Russell, she was in Alabama and that she was seeing a child, a baby, as a matter of fact, I believe, on the side of the road. So this was all last week, and this was in the area of Hoover, Alabama. So Carlee, 25, she called the police, she called 911, and she reported that she stopped to check on a child that was walking alone on the side of I-459, the interstate. So when I heard that, I'm like, they said it was at nighttime. And when you're driving on the interstate, yeah, you may see things, but you're driving at a particular speed. So to pull over because you say you saw a toddler or a child walking alone on the side of the interstate, that alone was like, that's weird. And I'm not saying that it could not happen, but I was just saying there was just a lot of different things that just didn't make sense with that. But anyway, the story is after she called 911, she stopped to check on the child, and she called a family member to report the same thing. And the family member lost contact with her, and they said that they heard a scream, but the line remained open. So the officers were en route to the location of the initial 911 call, and they located her vehicle and some of her belongings nearby, but were unable to find her or a child in the area. So when I heard that, I don't know, it's like, okay, did somebody snatch her and the child up? I don't know. But police did not receive, any other calls about a missing child or even from anyone else saying that they saw a child. So it's just weird if that really happened. Why was she the only one that contacted the authorities? And then even with that, I was just questioning, it's like, that's not safe. Even if you saw a child, these are not the days and times that you can be a good Samaritan in that sort of way. Getting out of your car on the side of the road, it's already dangerous enough if you have like a flat tire or some car trouble and it's nighttime and you have to pull over. You don't even really want to get out of your car. You just want to stay in your car and call AAA or call a family member or roadside assistance or whatever you have and just stay in your vehicle, locked in your vehicle, not getting out of the vehicle at night because that's extremely dangerous. So for her to be a female, getting on the side of the interstate at night to check on a child, I'm sorry. If I saw that, I might call the police, but I'm definitely not getting out of my car. I might not even be pulling over. I might just be calling to say, hey, 911, I saw a child at mile marker such and such. I'm on the interstate. I'm driving home. Please go out there and check. I ain't pulling over. I'm sorry. Because what good is it for me to do that, especially as a small female? I'm not anyone's savior. I'm not Superman. And so I was just thinking in the lines of that, why would she do that? But at any rate, when I heard that story, I was like, oh my God, I hope that they find this woman. I hope they find this young lady. And then the story came out that she was found. And she came home and she was safe. So immediately, it's relief. Thankfully, she has not been taken out. She is not trafficked somewhere, or, anything that could happen to a missing person, not just a missing woman or young lady, to a missing person. So thankfully she's home. I don't know what happened to her, but I'm glad that she's home and she can get some help. She can get some medical care. She can get some treatment. She can get some therapy and the things that she needs moving forward because she is home. Those were the initial thoughts. And then people started asking questions. People started wondering, okay, what is really going on? Because some of this just really isn't making sense. So the FBI, they have gotten involved, and the family, they did an interview on NBC News. I didn't think that was the smartest thing to do, because even if they say that they know more than the public knows, I believe they should have waited, because it just may not be a good look for them. And if ultimately it winds up that their daughter was not telling the truth, not saying that they were in on anything, but it's also going to make them look bad too. And that's sad if she indeed cooked this up and they didn't know anything about it, and all they're doing is trying to look out for and protect their child, which most parents are going to do that. It's not fair for them to be roped into something that they didn't have any knowledge of or didn't have anything to do with. But the FBI has joined in the investigation into this alleged toddler that was walking alongside the interstate that she said that she saw, and these allegations of her being kidnapped. So she went missing, as you know, after she called 911 to report the toddler wandering alongside Interstate 459 on July 13th in Hoover, Alabama. She showed up at her parents' home on Saturday night and was transported to a local hospital before being discharged home on Sunday.
So much joy. This morning, in an exclusive sit-down with NBC News, the parents of 25-year-old Carlee Russell are speaking out, describing the moment their daughter appeared on their doorstep after being missing for more than 48 hours.
What did you do when you saw her?
We tried to hug her as best we could, but I had to stand back because she was not in a good state. So we had to stand back and let medical professionals work with her. But it's okay. Last Thursday, police say Carlee called 911 to report a toddler walking alone on the interstate. She pulled over while on the phone with a family member who described hearing Carlee scream.
Her vehicle's unlocked, running. All her personal belongings except for her phone.
On the scene, police found no sign of Carlee or a child, and they say no children were reported as missing during that time period. The Russells waited in agony until Saturday night. There were actually just so many calls and texts from people who maliciously lied to us. I just didn't know people could be so evil. Authorities have not indicated where Carlee was during the 48 hours she was missing or what happened. Her parents declined to share what their daughter told them, citing the ongoing investigation.
And can you tell me what happened Saturday night? Did you just get a knock at the door?
Anything leading to the case itself, we can't discuss that. But they say speculation about the circumstances surrounding Carlee's disappearance are only making things worse. She's having to deal with the trauma of people just making completely false allegations about her. Her family now urging the public to let the investigation play out, but mentioning an abductor. Her mother asking to read a brief message to the public. Carlee has given detectives her statement so that they can continue to pursue her abductor.
Do you believe that there's an abductor still out there?
Absolutely. Absolutely. NBC News has reached out to the Hoover Police Department to ask whether they're looking for an individual involved. Police have just said they're following up on all information provided by Carlee.
And when I talked to you all on Saturday, you also said your daughter is a fighter and she would find a way back to you.
I felt that in my heart.
Is that what happened?
She did. She found her way back to us. However, we can't discuss the details of that.
But they say one thing is clear.
Do you believe she was fighting for her life?
Oh, she definitely fought for her life. There were moments when she physically had to fight for her life, and there were moments when she had to mentally fight for her life.
But she made it back to you.
She made it back.
Yeah, she did make it back. All right, Priscilla, so investigators are obviously busy on this case. What are they looking into going forward?
Yeah, Hoda, right now they're analyzing that initial 911 call and also that traffic cam video showing that car driving on the interstate very slowly with its flashers on, believed to be Carlee's car. And of course, they're looking at the evidence from the crime scene, including the car and her cell phone, which was found on the roadway nearby. Police say that they have been able to account for all of her steps leading up to her disappearance, but those 48 hours when she was gone still remain a mystery. Hoda?
Yeah.
So you heard the parents in the interview on NBC today, and the thing about that is they were saying, you know, anything regarding this, that, or the other, we can't discuss it. I feel that they really should not have done this interview. That's my personal opinion, because it didn't help. I understand that they want their privacy and they want people to respect them and they want people to not, I guess, accuse them or their daughter of anything that is a crime, or that this isn't real, or that she faked this, or that she's like Jussie Smollett. I don't know. But I don't feel that them doing this interview was the best move. But that's just my personal opinion. But, you know, the FBI, their alleged involvement in the case is something that was revealed on the Gray Hughes Investigates YouTube channel. And he had purchased the full Interstate 459 traffic cam video from Traffic Cam Archive. And it's a company that captures and preserves high quality traffic camera footage. And he explained that the FBI contacted Traffic Cam Archive to ask why 1 minute and 46 seconds of footage was cut from the full video. The footage was cut before Russell parked her car just out of camera range on I-459, and her car was parked out of camera range for over 3 minutes. The car's hazard lights can be seen flashing at the bottom of the camera frame at the 31 and 32-second mark of the video, and Russell then drove slowly to the spot on I-459 where she left her car and ran into the woods. And police said she left her wig, purse, and cell phone near her car, and she apparently took a food order that she had from a restaurant with her. Very, very strange. It definitely doesn't make sense. A lot of people have questions about that, because if it happened that you saw a toddler on the side of the road, you pulled over, you called 911, you got out of your car, the people that she called said that they had her on the phone, they heard a scream, and the call didn't drop. It was still there, but she wasn't speaking. What in the world would happen between that and her leaving her car, leaving her wig, leaving her cell phone, leaving her phone, going into the woods? Like, what in the world would have happened with regards to all of that if someone actually kidnapped her? So yeah, it leaves people with questions. But you know, when I heard about these new revelations coming up, it made me to start just wondering. And I thought about this chick who staged her being missing, kidnapping, whatever, named Sherri Papini. And she was in California. She was 39. She went missing in 2016 after going for a run. And then she appeared 3 weeks later on Thanksgiving claiming 2 Hispanic women had kidnapped her, and it sparked a multi-state manhunt. The FBI later concluded she was staying at an ex-boyfriend's house and had injured herself as part of the scheme. But she was just, all of these revelations just started coming out about that situation years later. And she just got sentenced in 2022. She, and I'm not laughing at the situation, but I don't know if the way she did it was just more high profile, that it didn't spark questions immediately, as opposed to this young lady, Carlee Russell, who is, I'm just putting it out there, facts are facts. She's an African-American young lady, and Sherri Papini, she is a Caucasian older woman, not old, but older woman in California. Typical blonde hair, you know what I mean? Just, let's just be honest. I am not okay with any of these people not telling the truth. And if Carlee Russell did indeed, if it's found that she staged her own kidnapping, okay with that. I'm not. But it really is funny to me that so many people are so quick to not believe her and accuse her and even be ready to charge her, because some people are saying that they think that she's going to be getting charged fairly quickly here. Whereas this woman, Sherri Papini, she went missing in November 2016, and she appeared 3 weeks later. And I guess the questions were there, but they didn't immediately move on things. And they just really started investigating it more and more, to the point where she wound up getting charged. She got a light sentence. She could have been up for 25 years maximum, because she pled guilty to 1 count each of lying to a federal officer and mail fraud. And she got between 8 and 14 months in custody and agreed to pay $300,000, which would cover the cost of the police investigation. And she's also going to spend 3 years under supervised custody after she is released from jail. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more stories coming out about Carlee and her being missing and what drove her, if this is indeed a hoax, a setup, a plot. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of information that's going to come out about her. And I don't know, but unfortunately, there are so many people that deal with mental health struggles and issues that go unresolved, that go unnoticed. And some people have psychotic breaks, and it can lead them up to the point of doing something like this. Because let's just be honest, this is not normal. It really takes a level of mental instability, to say the least, but mental health issues and concerns, to say the most, for someone to go to these lengths and extent to stage something for attention. There's got to be something deeper there. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be penalized, but it really is funny how quickly it's happening for this young lady than it did for Sherri Papini. And Sherri Papini is not the only one that's ever done this. It's happened before. If we were to Google kidnapping hoaxes, I'm quite sure there would be a laundry list of them. But it's not, even if we did find a number of them, it's still not normal, and it's still not something that is happening a lot or frequently or very prevalent. So when it comes to situations like this, more often than not, if they're doing it themselves, it is because there is a mental health issue that is there. And I don't know anything about this young lady, but there are allegations about her job. There are allegations about her ex-boyfriend, and maybe she was doing this to gain some sympathy and garner, some attention that would be more beneficial for her, where she would be seen as a victim. I don't know. But I really wanted to talk about that because when I heard about the story initially, of course, I was hoping that she would be okay and that she would be able to come home. And that's what my prayers were. Initially, that's what you are going to do when you hear about something like that. You're not going to just immediately say, is this real? No, I mean, the thoughts came out after the fact when the details started coming out more. And even, like I said, when it came to the details about what she did, I was more like, why versus did that really happen? Because when I heard about it being an alleged toddler roaming on the side of the interstate at night, my thought wasn't, did that really happen? My thought was, why would you pull over? Who are you to do that? Why would you pull over, get out of your car to attempt to help versus just contacting the authorities and letting them handle that, because it's their job to protect and serve, not yours. I'm not saying that if you don't see a need that you don't try, but your part of trying is calling the police because you're putting yourself in a dangerous position by getting off on the side of the interstate, which is already busy. It's dangerous. It's just not recommended. So why would you do that? That's what my initial thoughts were. And then as more information started coming out, yeah, I did start to question, like, really? Did that really happen? Did a child actually roam around on the side of the interstate at night? I don't know. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but it's just really strange. Stranger things have happened. But listen, Sherri Papini, she is proof positive that women, unfortunately, sometimes, not just women, men too, can do stuff like this. But yeah, this can happen where a kidnapping is staged and you're doing it for attention, but it's a deeper rooted cause for that happening. It's not just because you just want attention, because there's other ways of getting attention. And there's a lot of people who crave attention where they will do other things that are not illegal or dangerous in order to get it, but not going to this route and going to this extent to have your family worrying about you. I'm sure that the parents were worried. I don't know what all they know at this point in time. I don't think that if this is staged, that they had anything to do with it. I don't believe that they were in on the hoax if it was one. But I don't believe that it was the best move for them to sit down and do an interview with the Today Show. So I just wanted to talk about that. What do you think when it comes to Carlee Russell and Sherri Papini? Do you believe that the two situations are being treated differently because of the ethnicities of the two individuals? Also, do you believe that this was a hoax? And do you believe that she's going to get charged? I just want to know what you guys think. I shared my thoughts. Thank you so much for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So till the next time, I just wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.